Madden 24 is right around the corner, but until it comes, I wanted to give you a crazy explosive passing scheme that is at the center of the college football world, but has also worked its way up to root in the NFL game, and that is the Air Raid offense. The Air Raid is an offensive system that has made its way through every level of football, but its roots are based in college. While first reaching the mainstream at Texas Tech, led by Mike Leach, with standout receivers like Wes Welker dominating in the slot and Michael Crabtree breaking numerous records during his time in the system, now it has spread all throughout college football, with Lincoln Riley dominating with it first at Oklahoma, having one of the greatest offensive runs ever with star QBs like Baker Mayfield throwing dots everywhere, Jalen Hurts leading the charge with his arm and his legs, and then Kyler Murray having one of the most explosive and exciting seasons ever at the helm of the Air Raid offense. And now Riley has brought this scheme to USC and has Caleb Williams, who has used it to have one of the best college QB seasons we have seen in years. And now this scheme has even made it to the NFL, with Kyler Murray teaming up with ex-Texas Tech coach Cliff Kingsbury, who though was let go and fired from the Cardinals, these passing concepts are still used in every high-level passing NFL offense in the league. Now there are a few principles that stand at the forefront of this Air Raid offensive attack, with the first being throwing the ball early and often. You want to dial up passes and attack through the air and rack up points and touchdowns. Then a huge component of this scheme is spreading out the defense. You can use either 2x2 even sets or go with 3x1 looks, and we want to make sure we are forcing the defense to spread out and match our alignment. This will really simplify the looks the defense can give us and make it much easier to find areas of the field we want to attack. Then in an Air Raid offense, you have a mobile QB, and we want to add him to the run game and get a super athletic player that can make plays with his legs. This will add a whole new explosive element to our offense. Now we are going to be looking at these 4 formations in this scheme, and it is all going to be run out of the Cardinals Playbook. Now this whole run game is going to be built around the QB read option, where we can get our athletic QB in space to make plays, but then we also want to have a third option with either a bubble to the outside or a wide receiver screen, and this is going to be the backbone of our run game.
Then our main run in this scheme is going to be our RPO read screen and shotgun trips. This play is all about flipping the numbers in the run game, and we want to run this with our trips to the wide side. The first part of this play is we want to read the trip side D end, and at the snap, if he crashes down on the running back, you just want to keep it with your QB, get to the outside, and rack up some crazy yards on the ground. Then if you read the D end and he stays on the QB, then you just want to give it up the middle to the running back and let him pick up some big yards, and this is really going to force the defense into a no-win situation. Then the third element on this play is the screen. You want to look to the trip side, and if you have a numbers advantage before the snap, then you can just fire it out right away and let your player make a play in space with the ball in his hands, giving us 3 great options on this play.
The Air Raid is known for having a few key concepts that can be run over and over all game long and can be used to attack basically any defense you face, and if you nail down both of these 2, you will be in a great spot.
The first pass we are looking at here is Y cross and spread Y flex. This play is my favorite Air Raid concept, and it gives us multiple options to attack the short and intermediate areas of the field, and once you master it, you will be able to shred any zone defense you face. Here we want the running back to the short side of the field, then put the slot on the wide side on a hitch, and that is the whole setup. Our first read here will be the flat defender and the hook on the wide side, and if they start to back out at the snap, then we can just quick throw the hitch and pick up the easy yards that they are giving you. Then if the flat defender stays down on the hitch and we want to look to the crosser coming to the wide side, and we can just wait till he clears in behind the flat defender and throw it up along the sideline for a big pickup. Then if after the snap the hitch is taken away and the user leaves the middle of the field, then you can quick throw this cross over the middle for a big pickup, forcing the user to stay home. Then if the user commits to running with the cross, and you want to look to the backside spot route, and this player will sit down versus zone coverage in front of the deep blue defender, and this is a great third option on this play. Then lastly, if the flat defender on the short side drops under the spot route, then we're gonna have this running back on a swing pass, and he can fire it out to him in the flat and let him make a play in the open field for a really good 4th read. Then the next play we're looking at is mesh in the formation tray open. The mesh concept is the most famous in the Air Raid, and it is incredible to beat zone coverage all over the field and also to get a ton of easy yards versus man defensive looks. To set this up, have the trips to the wide side, then all you need to do here is block your running back, and that is it. And this is the same setup versus man or zone. And now the first place we want to look is the safety pre-snap. And if you get them in a 0 or 1 high look, then we want to look to the out route along the sideline versus man coverage. We should have route tech on this player, so as he breaks out to the sideline, he will separate and you can fire it in for a big pickup. Then against the cover 3 zone defense, the deep third will be playing over the top and the flat defender will be held inside, and you can just fire this in along the sideline as he breaks for an easy pickup. Then we can move inside to the post, and if they don't have a single post safety, then this player is going to break and we'll have route tech on him and he'll break off from his man over the middle, and you can just fire it in for some super explosive pickups. And this really is the key route to beat man coverage on this play. Then for underneath options, we're going to have 2 drags, and with these 2 players, we're going to have short in elite or route tech, and now they're going to get a little boost as they break, and this is going to allow you to have 2 really good options. You want to hit them in stride, rack catch it, and get upfield. Then against zone, we will have this triangle read over the middle of the field with our post and 2 drags, and if the user and the hooks bite down at all, then we're going to have this post in over the middle, and you can just fire it as he breaks free for a nice gain. Then if the hooks stay back, we have our 2 drags, and they will actually hook up and sit down versus zone coverage, and you can just drop it down to whichever one is more open for the check down on this play.
Now to set this air raid offense up, we want to nail down these positions. First, at QB in the air raid, we need someone who can deliver the football to each level of the field. They must excel at delivering the football on time and in rhythm to receivers. They have to get the ball out of their hands quick to playmakers in space, and then an added bonus is the QB having the legs to make people miss in the open field and get free, then have the speed to be a weapon in the QB designed run game. And in this spot, I am using Michael Vick, and on my QB, I'm using set feet lead or pass lead elite to make sure I can get that extra zip on the football and fit that ball into tight spots. And then I'm also using hot route master so I can get all the hot routes I want on offense and be as creative as possible. Next at running back, we want a speedster with wheels who can break free and pull away from defenders once he sees an opening. Then he also has to be a reliable receiver out of the backfield, able to be a weapon on dump offs in the flats, but also can get vertical up the field and make plays. And at this spot, I am using Travis Etienne. Then for our personnel grouping, we'll be an 11 personnel. So that means we'll have 3 wideouts on the field and 1 tight end. But the tight end will be playing a slot receiver role. So he needs to be able to have the speed to get down the field and be a weapon in our deep pass game, then be a super reliable target to catch passes underneath. And really, we're skewing much more to the pass catcher side, and he doesn't need to be a great blocker, but that can be a bonus. And in this spot, I am using Tony Gonzalez. Then for our 2 outside receivers, you can target whoever you want. You can go for some big ball winners who can win those jump balls on the outside, or you can go for speed to get in behind the defense, or a mix of both. It is really up to you. And in these 2 spots, I'm using Dwight Clark and Jerry Rice. Then lastly, our slot receiver. This is going to be one of our main stars, and you want to nail down this spot. He needs to be quick and agile in the slot, being able to break off from man coverage in an instant and be your easy offense over the middle of the field. He also needs the deep speed to get down the field in behind defenses and be an explosive option out of the slot for our offense. Then he also needs to be able to catch the ball underneath and then become a water bug that can make people miss in a phone booth and turn little passes into big gains. And at this spot, I am using Steve Smith. Then on all 3 of my receivers and my tight end, I'm using route tech or short in elite if you can't get route tech. This is going to allow them to get easy separation versus man, and on their break, their ability will activate, allowing them to break off from man coverage and make beating man defenses so much easier.
Then we're going to have to play stick wheel out of the formation shotgun trips. This is going to be an amazing play that uses part of an air raid essential concept with the stick underneath for easy yards, but then also has some built-in deep shots deeper down the field to make plays. To set this up, have the trips to the wide side, and then we have no adjustments on this play. You just want to run it as is. Now, the first place we want to look is the wheel route. And if the flat defender is staying back at the snap, then you can just quick throw this and pick up the easy yards underneath. Then you can also wait till he gets up the field a little further, and the post will run off the deep defender. And if the flat defender doesn't turn and run with him, you can drop it in for a big pickup. Then if you're reading the flat defender and he's getting super deep and playing on the wheel, then that is where we have the running back and be wide open underneath, and you can just drop it down to him for a really easy pickup and just let him make a play with the ball in his hands. Then after that, we can start to work inside of the curl route. And if the flat defender widens out and the linebacker hooks users stay inside, then you can just throw this hook as he sits down versus zone coverage for a nice pickup. Then lastly, if the user leaves the middle of the field to try to take away the curl sitting down, then we have this backside slant coming in behind him, and this is a great 4th option on this play. Then this play also has a built-in alert, which is a route we automatically look to and check 2 versus a certain coverage. So on this play, we have a built-in alert with this wheel versus cover 2. So that means if post snap we get cover 2, we want to check to this wheel route automatically. He'll get a free release up the field, and the deep half is going to get pulled inside by the deep post, and then you can just fire this deep down the field into a big hole shot versus cover 2 defenses. Then we have a great zone beating play with 8 shallow cross and spread Y slot. This is an amazing play to completely flood zone defenses and give us some great deep options, a solid intermediate route, and 2 really good underneath hitters, making this play incredibly tough to stop. To set this up, have the running back to the short side of the field, then take the wide side slot and put him on a fade route, then take the outside receiver on that side and put him on a drag route, and that is it. For this play, first we want to check the safeties before the snap, and if we get single high cover 3, then that is where we want to look to this post, and you will see the deep safety is going to flip his hips and run with that wide side fade route. Then this post will clear the backside corner, and once that happens, you can fire this in for a really big pickup down the field. Then over the middle, we have this kind of mesh concept with the drag and the running back going to opposite flats, then the dig over the middle, and if the user or the hooks jump down to the underneath routes, then this dig should be wide open and you can fire it in for a big pickup over the middle. Then we have our 2 underneath routes, and the running back is actually on this super unique route where he does an arrow route across the formation to the opposite side of the field, and he's going to get underneath all flat defenders, and you can just drop it down to him and let him be explosive with the ball in his hands.
Then if you want to take this offense to the next level, you need to check out my website, Scheme Kings. Up right now is part 2 of this video where I'll give you 7 more plays for this Air Raid offense to give you a ton of options to attack defenses and help you give an answer for anybody you face.
Then also on the site are all my past schemes like my NCAA spread offense and my LOB Seahawks defense and a ton more. Then also on the site you can get access to my playbooks, which are full written breakdowns for my schemes, and with 5 out so far, with my newest being my golden era offense that is 73 pages long, and this can help take your game to the next level. So if you want to check out Scheme Kings, it will be linked down in the description below.
Then we have a nasty cover 3 bomb with the play fade stop out of gun trips. This is a great way to push the ball down the field versus cover 3 defenses and can give us an explosive deep shot to rack up easy scores. To set this up, have your trips to the wide side, then take the solo receiver on the backside and put him on a comeback route, then take the outside receiver on the trip side and put him on a drag across the field, then lastly block your running back to make sure you're going to have time to let everything develop down the field. So here we want to look to the deep over route from the inside slot, and we'll see he gets super deep up the field, and as this happens, the deep middle safety is going to get held in the middle by the seam route, then the backside deep third will get held down by the comeback route. Once the deep over clears them, you want to bomb them deep down the field, and you can rack catch this and get some massive gains. Then on this play, if post snap they aren't in cover 3, or if the safety is leaving the middle to get with that deep over route, then we have this drag over the middle as the check down, and you can just drop it down to him for the easy pickup.
Then to make sure you are running this explosive offense to its full potential, you need to pair it with a scary defense that can rack up sacks, pressure, and cause turnovers to give you a complete attack both offensively and defensively. So check out my 4-6 defensive game plan right here to start dominating on defense.